Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Gaza cannot continue to be run by Hamas and Israel cannot occupy Gaza. That's according to the US Secretary of State Antony Blinken.
We all agree that humanitarian pauses would advance key objectives.
Speaking at a news conference after the G7 foreign ministers met in Tokyo, Mr. Blinken said that a period of transition with regards to post-conflict governance in Gaza was possible. G7 nations said in a joint statement that Israel had the right to defend itself while underscoring the need to protect civilians and to comply with international humanitarian law. The British Foreign Minister said a move towards a peace-loving leadership in Palestine was the most desired outcome in the conflict, reiterating Britain's support for a two-state solution.
In the short term, it is inevitable that Israel, because they have the troops in Gaza, will need to have security responsibility. But our view is, as soon as is practicable, a move towards a peace-loving Palestinian leadership is the most desired outcome.
The European Union has proposed to start membership talks with Ukraine once conditions are met. The top European Union officials' recommendations brings Kyiv a step closer to a major strategic goal, even as it struggles to repel Russia's invasion. It is an important milestone on Kyiv's road to Western integration and a geopolitical gambit for the EU. Leaders are expected to decide on whether to accept the Commission's recommendation at a summit in December. In a video message, President Volodymyr Zelensky has called the EU report on membership progress a right step in history.
Ukraine has completed, I was there over the weekend and could convince myself, well over 90% of the necessary steps that we set out last year in our report. Just to give you an idea, main progress has been achieved on the constitutional justice reform, on the selection of the High Council of Justice, the anti-corruption program, progress on anti-money laundering, important measures to curb the oligarchs' grip on the public life, new media law, and progress on national minorities.
One person has been killed after a demonstration for more pay by garment workers in Bangladesh, which turned violent as police used tear gas and rubber bullets while protesters threw stones. The latest death was the third since protests erupted in the past week. On Tuesday, the government said that the minimum wage would rise by 56%, the first increase in 5 years, but workers are demanding almost twice the amount offered. A pro-Palestinian march due to take place on Armistice Day would only be banned as a last resort. That's according to the Metropolitan Police Commissioner.
Completely understand.
Sir Mark Rowley vowed officers would do all they could to protect remembrance activities and Jewish communities. On Monday, the force publicly urged organisers to postpone the event, which is due to take place in central London, saying it would not be appropriate. Both Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and Home Secretary Suella Braverman have criticised the timing of the march on the 11th of November, which thousands are expected to attend. The Kenyan Red Cross has called for emergency action amid intensifying rains and floods that have so far killed at least 15 people and displaced more than 85,000 households. The World Meteorological Organization said that El Nino, the phenomenon behind the heavy rains, is likely to persist until at least April 2024. The Kenya Red Cross said the counties of Garissa, Tana River and Kilifi were at risk of flooding. Heavy rains have swept through East Africa in recent days, leading to flooding in parts of Kenya, Somalia and Ethiopia. And European astronomers have released the first images from the newly launched Euclid Space Telescope, designed to unlock the secrets of dark matter and dark energy, which are thought to make up 95% of the universe. The European Space Agency says these pictures of a nearby universe 240 million light-years away are the sharpest of their kind. The ESA is leading Euclid's 6-year mission with partner NASA. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.